Hello to anyone who's watching this. I want to tell you guys a story. It's not very long, but I wanted to tell it anyway. It's a story about a bear and a Pokemon and a shirt. And if you couldn't guess already, this story is about a man named Justin Carmical. And I'm sitting here. It hit me completely. I've been steamrolled. I haven't done something like this in a very long time. I haven't sat in front of a camera. And I've got a cold and a cough. And I already did a lot of crying. And Steve called me while I was at work, or rather, I called him. And he told me, I want you to avoid any social media until you get out of work. And of course I said, why? And he said, just trust me on this. I don't want you looking at Facebook or Tumblr or Twitter or anything until you get out of work. And I said, did something happen? Did something happen to someone I know? And he said yes. And of course I had to know, because I wasn't going to spend the rest of my shift worrying about who it was or what had happened. And he told me that Justin had killed himself. And I was in the stairwell leading down to where the break room and everything was at work, and I just kind of collapsed and started crying. And luckily my coworkers were very supportive. I told them what had happened. I told them that an online friend of mine had passed away, and they helped get me out of there early. And I risked driving through a snowstorm, because we have a snowstorm going on right now, to go home and grab all these things, because I wanted to tell you this story. And tell this story to somebody, even if it ends up just being the camera. I just want to tell this because I feel like it needs to be heard. I met Justin formally at MagFest 2011, which was the first MagFest that all of the Tigwatig people came together, and, you know, there were panels, and it was a lot of fun, except that we were in a hotel that was too tiny for our event, and naturally shenanigans ensued. Elevator party, yeah, you know the drill. And that was the first time I met Justin. And, you know, I'd seen him on streams before, seen him in videos, but seeing him in real life, seeing him walk up to me and smile and say, hey, how are you? It was just overwhelming to me. Such a kind soul. His eyes are so kind. And that was when I had started becoming a big part of the Tigwatig fandom, and I was watching a lot of videos. I was watching, you know, the newcomers to the site, which at the time were I believe Todd. I don't think ON Citizen had even gotten on the site yet. I just remember Todd was new, and Lupa was fairly new, I think. But I watched their videos and I watched Justin's videos because Justin's videos appealed to me. Because, you know, as a gamer, I liked watching what he had thought of games. I liked his reviews on imported games. And we got to talking on Facebook and on Skype eventually. And he would tell me things. He would confide in me things that I don't know if he ever even told anybody else. But he told me that he was depressed, and that he had been for a long time. He told me that he was stuck in a rut as far as finding work. I remember he was really upset about being laid off and not being able to find a job. And he told me he would tell me things like that, and it would just break my heart, because, you know, I would tell him, you know, I wish I could give you a hug. I wish, you know, I could hug you, because I don't know, I didn't really know what to say to that. I've never been laid off from a job. I don't know what that's like, but it, you know, it's financially devastating, and he didn't feel, I don't know, I guess he felt like he wanted to be the breadwinner of the house, and he wasn't, and that made him upset. And I would just do my best to talk to him. And not all of our talks were like that. We would talk about happy things, you know, we would talk about Pokemon all the time. Cat girls. Cute cat girls that we had found on the internet. We would look up. I remember, God, just being in calls with him. And his voice was so soothing. It's absolutely, he's so captivating. No matter what he was talking about, he would hold your attention. But anyway, later that year in 2011, in September, our local fair came around, the Big E, and I had talked to Justin about wanting to send him a care package, and I went to the fair with another friend of mine, Anthony, who was a JewWario fan as well. And I remember, you know, telling him, oh, Justin's upset that his videos aren't getting watched, and he's not having the view counts he'd like, and I just wanted to send him something to cheer him up. And Anthony helped me pick out things to send to him. I sent to him a little block with a quote about friendship. I don't remember the actual quote. And I sent him a little lavender pillow to put over your eyes at night while you sleep, because Justin had also told me he suffered from insomnia occasionally, and I think this would help him sleep better. And I sent him a Pokemon plush and some other things. And I sent him a note along with it, you know, just saying, hey, how are you? And I miss you, and I hope I can hug you again at next MagFest. He did something that I totally was not expecting him to do, and he sent me a package back a couple weeks later. And in that package was this bear and this Pokemon plush and this shirt. And I got on call with him when I received it, and I said, you know, why did you send this? Like, I sent you a care package to cheer you up. You didn't have to send me anything back. And he said, yes, but you're my friend. And I wanted to share these with you. I wanted to give you some insight into my life. And so I picked up the bear. This is a modified Pooh doll, in case you couldn't tell. It's Pooh Bear. And the belt says 100 Acre Wrestling Federation, yeah. And I asked, well, why the Pooh Bear in a wrestling mask? And he said, well, as you know, I always wanted to be a wrestler when I was in high school. And he wrestled for a while in high school, but he had to stop. I'm pretty sure it was because of medical reasons, or there was something wrong with his body, and he wasn't gonna be able to wrestle because of that. But he said, I still went to matches, and I still loved watching people wrestle. And my favorite Disney character is Pooh Bear. And I believe he said a friend of his had made this for him as a gift. So this is a luchador Pooh Bear. in a wrestling mask, and he said, he made that for me when he found out that I couldn't wrestle. And I was like, Justin, you didn't have to send this to me. And he said, no, I want you to have it. I want you to know that this was my childhood dream. And Winnie the Pooh is all about dreams. And keeping dreams alive. And this Psyduck, Justin told me Psyduck was his favorite Pokemon. And really, I don't think I ever asked him why. I just accepted it. And Pooh stayed in my room, and Psyduck stayed in my car. I had a couple other Pokemon plushes that I kept in my car. And again, this is really old. I think this is one of the original, 1998 plushies, back when, Pokemon first got popular in the United States. Back when he said he got this back when he was doing the trading card game. And he was a gym leader. And of course, I had to ask him, why did he send me one of his shirts? And he told me, oh, well, you said you wanted to hug me. And I don't know if this is an acceptable substitute for a hug, but I wanted you to have it so that you can have a part of me with you. And so I wore it a couple times. I never told anybody it was from him. I just told people, oh, I got a new shirt. So I wore it a couple times. It's funny how I was able to wear it, because, Justin's this big, tall, relatively skinny guy, and I am not skinny by any means. But it fit. And I washed it, and I didn't have the heart to wear it. After that, I hung it up in my closet. And thank goodness it was still there. I don't know why I'm telling you all this now. I've never told anybody that he sent me these things. But because our friendship kind of petered out after that. He was busy all the time, and I knew that he was going to make Famicom Rider, and was really, really excited about it. And he was busy all the time, and so I didn't get to talk to him. But I did see him at MagFest again this year. It was Thursday night. It was the night that the prom was going on. And I ran into Kitty Marie. And she told me, oh, I told Justin to come over after the worst movie ever panel is ended, if you see him, can you point him in my direction? And I said, yeah, sure. And after, excuse me 1 minute. After Love Cannon had finished performing, I told him I wanted to head outside in between sets to get some fresh air, and I ran into him, and he was with Maddie Buck, Film Brain, and Brad Jones, Cinema Snob, and his eyes lit up when he saw me, and you know, he complimented my dress, and he told me how wonderful and beautiful I looked, and gave me a big long hug, and God, he had this air about him. Like, you knew that everything was going to be okay when you were around him, because that's how he made you feel. Like, nothing was wrong with the world. Everything was fine as long as he was there and he was talking to you. And we talked for a little bit. I asked him how he was, and you know, how he said, oh, I'm a little busy, but you know, I'm fine otherwise. And then Kitty Marie came out, and we all were talking, and it was a nice moment with the three of us. Such a nice moment. And that was the only time I saw him that weekend. I didn't get to say hi to him again, but that's okay. I'm thankful I got to see him at least once. I don't wanna make this go on for too much longer. But I'm happy that I have these little bits and pieces of you, Justin. I hope that people keep watching your videos. I know I will. We all will. I hope that you're okay. Wherever you are. I hope that you're safe and you're happy. I'll never forget all the stories you told me. And all the bits and pieces of your life you shared with me. So thank you, Justin. And I hope you're okay.